Hi, welcome to my guide to building a portable bar, basically, with draft beer. I call it the Boozomatic. This is version 1.2. Okay, it's a system involving a keg for pouring proper draft beer, as you can see. It tastes good, it's chilled, and the beauty is it's absolutely portable. It needs no electricity or anything, and you can build most of it with stuff you've got lying around the house and a little trip to Amazon and where you buy your beer from. Okay, let's get going with this. Okay, so one of the first things you need to work out is what kind of keg you're going to get. You need one of these ones. It's not a Phillips draft keg, okay? That won't work. This is one built for the beer tender, which is owned by Heineken, but they're called draft kegs. Now, the reason you need one of these is they've got inside them a CO2 canister. You can hear that bang there. That's really important because this keg needs to power itself, okay? It's got to have the pressure inside. As we're not going to plug it in or anything, there's no way we can run a compressor to get the air in, okay? So you need one of these, and you buy them from Beerwolf, okay? This is a company owned by Heineken, and it sells their beers, so you're a bit limited to what you can get. They're about £20 to £25 for a 9-pinter. Do you know what? I think it's not that bad value, really, because it really does taste like draft beer. Okay, now how this works is you put on actually one of these, which I removed earlier, so I'm just going to put it back. A tap like that. Then you put on the nozzle. I'm sure it's got a proper name. Doing this one-handed, and the idea is you just pull that up and it lets a bit of beer out. Okay, now when you do this, you won't be using all this. This, yes, you'll need, but this, you just squeeze the sides and you take it off. Okay, like that. Keep it though, because some days you might not want to use this and they're useful. Then you just put this back on and just leave it there. Now, it works by pressure, so you push that down, you get a drop of beer out. Okay, remember that because you're going to need to know that later. So, what else did we need? Right, well, let's move these out of the way. You need a really cheap ice box like this, or freezer box, or whatever you want to call it. This one cost me about £13, okay? I have used other things, but I wanted it to be a bit portable and to look a bit better. The last one I used, it was a wee bit embarrassing, okay? So you need one of these. You'll also need, and I'm going to come back to you with that now. So you'll also need a tap. Now, I got this on Amazon. It cost about £27. I'll put the link at the bottom for you if you want that one. It's actually really good quality, it feels. Very heavy, very useful. A drill bit for cutting holes. A length of food grade piping with a little clip on the end. Okay? And you're going to use these for basically everything. There are some other little bits that come with the tap, but you'll see that as I build it. So what I've done here is I've put the barrel inside the icebox. Now, I did find that I could possibly squeeze 2 in with a bit of pressure, but I'm not going to. After a lot of deliberation, I've decided against that, although it probably would be good for some things. But I'm just going to go with one. But where do I want the tap? Do I want it at the front, or do I want it on the side? And again, I can't make my mind up on this one, to be honest. On the front makes sense, but I think on the side means it's more slimline if you want to put it on a bar or something. Again, this is personal choice. It makes absolutely no difference. So, first thing I'm going to do, drill a hole through the icebox where I decide to put the hole. Okay, so you can see what I've done there. I've drilled through and I've attached the tap. Now, the slight problem I had was my drill bit, the diameter it cut wasn't quite what I needed. So I used a knife just to scrape around the edges to fit it in. But it's gone pretty good. It's not perfectly straight, but I put that down to the fact that this is a cheap container and the plastic is just pulling it in a funny direction. Don't worry about it. So the next step is to put the rest of the fittings on the back of the tap. What I've done here then is I've attached and I really don't know what it's called, I'm going to just call it a dog's leg, little thing onto the end, and then attach a little bit of PVC piping with a couple of these little collars okay, just to make it tight so you don't want your beer going everywhere. And this is the next step. You may notice the scene keeps changing. That's because my kids keep coming outside when I'm trying to film. Okay, so what I've done here is I've attached it to this. Now you get this as part of your beer tender or your draft keg. Some sites say chop this off. I don't see any point, to be honest. It makes fitting this so much easier, and it makes hygiene a lot easier as well. Now the tube I think could be shorter. I think it'd probably be even better if it was, but my thought is if you're filling this with ice, it will chill the beer even more on the way. It's a personal choice. You could have a tiny bit of tube, which would probably help with the pressure. It's your call. So we've got the keg attached, this on, ready. You've got the tap. Now, the next step is a bit of a doozy. Okay, this is where you're getting a real bit bodge job. Now I'm using a bit of a drill bit for this. So what I'm going to do is put it across here flat. So when it's not turned, when it's just lying flat through the hole, you'll see in a moment, it won't let any pressure. But when you turn it, it pushes down on the I don't know, whatever you're going to call this, which and then will send the beer through here. But the thing you've got to make sure, and it's vital importance, is when you do your first bit of this, the beer tap needs to be open, otherwise you're just going to get a lot of backwash. Now, because this is on, if you can see here, this is pointing up, it means it's pushing this down, which is pushing the button down, which is then sending the beer through the tube, out through the tap. Okay? Now, all you need to do, pull the tap, and out comes the beer. When you stop pouring, it stops. It's absolutely brilliant. Now, the first time you do it, it's going to be very heady. I mean, look at this. And I know I'm going to get grief for pouring this way, but I'm holding a camera, I'm pouring at the same time. You pour that. It looks like I should get a flake with that, but when you do it properly, you tilt the glass, it's not a problem, okay? Also, make sure your barrel is chilled for 10 hours. That will do that. And if you look, this is settling, but it tastes like draft beer. So, you've got your keg there, which normally you would fill all this with ice to keep it nice and cool. Through there. There's no need for power, there's no need for anything at all. And all I need to do now, for the aesthetics, although this is not the most aesthetically pleasing thing ever, and there it is. You could take that to any party, have it in your shed, your man cave, whatever you want. And when you've done, you just unscrew it all, clean it, put it away. It's absolutely fine. My logic is, because this hole's on the side, you could even sneak this into somewhere, you know, if they're not going to check the insides of it, and you won't see the hole because it'll be next to you. Okay, I hope that helps. Other ways you can do this are many. You could put it in a really fancy box, whatever you like. Now, I didn't design this, I didn't invent this. I will put credit to the people who did in the links below. The guy who showed me how to do it, I'm not going to name him because he's a very private person, but cheers mate, this is fantastic. Laters.